I gotta start hitting people up and see who wants a reading, because I haven't even been on it like that. Like with readings, I know a lot of people in court claims right now. Spirit been kind of telling me, oh, you gotta reach out. All right, fine, I'll get back to work. The cancer movement. Okay, so for this next part, we're just gonna have a free talk, basically. There's been a trend that always has really been here, and it's been brought to my attention. And this is a little more human, but I think that it's important to understand this just for ourselves. Now, everybody is on their own spiritual path, right? Everyone's on their own spiritual path. Everybody has their own thing. Like some people might be Muslim for a while, and then they might go ahead and just, I don't want to be Muslim, and they might go all the way left-hand path, or they might go all the way right-hand path, or they might stay right in the middle. It just depends on the person. Everybody has, you have the ability to have whatever spirit experience you would like to have in this life. Nothing is kept from you. You can do whatever you want. You can make any decision that you want. I advise people to follow their soul purpose, because it's what typically brings the most joy. But if you want to go completely against your soul purpose, that is on you. You could do that. You have free will. You could do whatever you want. So that doesn't mean that there's not consequences for your actions. Like if you're feeling depressed, your emotions are indicators. Your emotions act as a compass. So if you're feeling really depressed, if you're feeling depleted, if you're feeling unhappy, you got some emotional issues going on that you're not resolving. And what also could be happening is that you have some sort of, how do you call it? You're living out of your purpose. So your own higher self, honestly, with stuff like that, your own higher self deals with you. Your own higher self brings you what you need or what you don't need. Your own higher self will have you having tower moment after tower moment after tower moment, until you fucking listen. And even then, we know we are very stubborn, so we may not listen still. But this is just how the game goes. So I had noticed this trend, and it's been a trend for a while, where individuals in the conscious or spiritual sort of, more melanated communities, because what we do, nobody else does. Like other people, they don't do spirituality the way we do it. We do it a little differently. It's more authentic, I would say. And it just is what it is. It doesn't mean other people can't get into it. It doesn't mean that the information ain't here for them. It's here. It's just that we happen to do it our own way, with a little touch of chaos and bullshit. That's how we do it. God damn it. So, and chaos it seems like nonsense on the physical, but in the spiritual, it'll make perfect sense. So chaos in the physical seems like it's crazy, seems like it's nonsense, but in the spiritual, chaos makes sense. And when you start dealing with like more the divine order of things, you'll be like, oh shit, that makes a lot of sense. So there's a lot of people that are getting into the trend of taking out, I feel like maybe it's like decoding gone crazy. Like everybody wants to decode everything, even when it's just some human shit, or even when it's something that, like, why do you even care about that? So what's going on is that a lot of people are taking these topics and they want to use it as trending topics. Like they'll realize that a trend is catching on, and then it's like, let's drop a video about it. I'm typically ahead of the trends. I go by what the flow is. So anybody who's on my vibration, you're usually like a week or two, and that's on the low end. Sometimes I'm years or months ahead of trends, but you'll be typically like a week or two ahead of the trends. Even sometimes with the energies that come out in astrology and card reading and stuff, I'll be a week or two ahead of the trends. And some of us just work like that. And that didn't happen until I did the healing work, until I stayed focused on my path, on my mission, on my journey, until I started doing that stuff more consistently. then I started having the gift of basically being already in the future. Because you think about it, the way you move, some people move in the past. So you ever met that old dude that this motherfucker really still think it's the 90s or the early 2000s, and he's still wearing his saggy pants, and he's still wearing fitteds and fucking jerseys, and it's like, dog, jerseys haven't been popping for 20 years. Like, wearing a jersey went out a while ago, my guy. Maybe more. No, about 20, probably 15, 20 years. Let me think about this. Maybe 15. 10, 15 we'll give it. We'll give it a little more leeway. But jerseys haven't been popping for a long time. But unless you're going to a sporting event, okay? And they be grown as hell in their 50s, in their 40s, whatever, and they still look like they stuck in a certain time frame. An individual like this is one of those people that's stuck in the past. And that's what we call it. We call it being stuck in the past. Now you have other people who are following trends. So they're stuck in the past to an extent, but not as much as the person that's stuck 10, 15 years in the past. And typically what happens is those types of individuals are what you have with what we call followers in modern society. So a follower is somebody that will see a trend beginning to emerge, and well, that's even a little more advanced. A follower is really somebody who waits till something is popular and then they do it. So like a lot of you wouldn't have read Psychiatrica or whatever unless Brother Panic told you to. I read parts of it. It wasn't that impressive to me, honestly. It just seemed like visualization techniques. I was like, this ain't really shit. But that's because I read books and do the work, so I can say shit like that. And I hadn't checked out that book, so I was like, everybody's talking about this, let me check it out. But that's me being, but I didn't do a video and all this stuff about it. It was just like, oh, okay, I see what y'all into. I'm gonna check it out because we like one family. Yup, fan bangs and mullets. Yo, real shit. Fan bangs. Whoa, mullets. My dad had a mullet. That shit was weird. And he Puerto Rican and Cuban. He had the little rat tail for years. I'm like, Pop, cut that motherfucker off. When I was a kid, I was like, ugh. So those are now you have other individuals that will be on emerging trends. And so the day that they sense an energy shift, so it's like day of people. Certain people, they might be like, a couple days behind the trend. Other people, they'll be typically, and we're going to talk about being timeless as well, but they'll be typically day of. They'll see that a lot of people are talking about something, that a certain whatever is getting a lot of attention. And then these type of people, they're sort of a little shisty sometimes. But if a topic is important to you, then I think you should talk about it. And if it happens to be popular at the time and you're genuine with it, I scratched my face and it got all red. Then I think that it's important for people to speak their truth. So I don't have an issue with somebody talking about something that they're genuinely interested in, or that is genuinely something that they've been working on or whatever. My stuff, y'all see my shit be random as hell. It just be what vibe me and my tribe are on and my soul family is on. Like, what we doing today, y'all? What y'all want to do? I'm feeling like a fast. Y'all feeling like a fast? Yeah, let's do a fast together, which I love, by the way. I love that we can support each other like this. So what ends up happening is there's certain people that will see we call them opportunists. So they see something is beginning to emerge, and they will go and always be seizing the opportunity. So that's why, example, after Tentacion passed. Now I did do a video, but I only did one, and I very rarely do videos on any celebrity deaths. I happened to get a channel from X as he was passing because I was sending out a lot of energy. I was there in the astral. I was there with his soul, essentially, as everything was happening. I was in a very deep meditation and channel. I was really trying to help him pass over. Actually, I was trying to help him stay here, but he ended up making the decision to pass over. Um, but that's not my typical thing. If you see somebody that has a habit where, like, I usually am not going to take advantage of someone's passing for a view. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not into that. I really want to see people progress. That one video, because I felt very strongly about it, and I thought what happened was horrible. But other people, if they start making a habit out of it, they don't really care. They don't care about you. They're doing it for a view. They don't respect the information. I mean, maybe they respect the information. It depends how much they study. But they're basically just doing all this for clout. And sometimes people will speak on things that they know they shouldn't speak on because they're not very knowledgeable or wise. They don't have the wisdom yet. Like, I try not to speak on things that I don't feel like I have a good grasp on. And if I do that, like, once in a while I'll go live and I'll be like, guys, I was studying this. What do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And that's because I like building with my community. I like building with my soul family. I like building with like-minded people. So I might come with an idea or a topic or something like that that's like halfway put together, but it's only halfway put together because I want to see what everyone else is up to, what y'all are doing, and maybe we can make this better together. That's how I look at things. You know what I mean? Especially if I'm really just thinking about something, whatever it may be. So then we have people who are ahead of the times. So you have the opportunist who sees an emerging trend and then hops on it. And this can be used for good, used for bad. It just depends on the person. Then we have people who are a little ahead of the trends. And this can even go in 3 stages. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but the people that you have that are ahead of the trends are typically individuals that are have been very, now this is from personal experience, very heavy into their healing work. They maybe are very intuitive. They do a lot of meditation. They're very on top of their game spiritually. So and then many times, as me myself, I don't realize I'm ahead. I think that everybody else, and then sometimes 6 months later, you're like, that's what everyone's doing now. I was doing that 6 months ago. That's not shit. Or sometimes 2 months, 2 weeks, you're like, I already did that 2-3 weeks ago. Like, I've been done with that. So that's when you're ahead of the trends. Now, what it is to be timeless is really what's most important. On YouTube, they call this evergreen content. So content is like that doesn't have a timestamp on it. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Certain things that are evergreen or that are forever, like timeless songs. Like, there's songs from Michael Jackson that are going to be relevant forever. You know what I mean? There's songs from Whitney Houston that your children's children will listen to, and those are going to be relevant forever. No, I don't think so. Kima. Oh, Keem. What's up? What's up? Mild to strong narcissistic. Agreed. So there's certain people, and I can't say that I'm one of these people per se, but I strive to sort of, and I'm a mix like anybody else, but to create something that will help people even when I'm gone. That somebody 150 years from now, however we're doing this by then, could look at it, whether it's a book, whether it is whatever it is. Because some of the books we even read are from the 1920s, and they wrote kind of like blog style back then, which is crazy, right? To think books were written blog style, but very honest and very well researched still. But something somebody can look at and really be like, wow, this is still relevant. So to be that kind of person, you have to stand in certain universal truths, and you have to deal with things that are eternal, not just things that are passing, like trends, like looks, like anything like that. You would deal with things that are more eternal, that are everlasting. So dealing with the soul kind of makes sense in that case, doesn't it? Yo, imagine we decide to reincarnate, and then we're reading books by our former selves. What if we're doing that now? Hmm. Um, hmm. Who was it? You guys know the poet Saul Williams? I really, really think, and it was me and somebody else, we was talking about this like 2, 3 months ago. I really, really think he's the reincarnation of Shakespeare. Like, I'm like, and the way his poems are and everything, I'm like, I think this is Shakespeare. Like, this was Shakespeare. Had to be. Um, because a lot of these people like Beethoven, they was not everybody that they said was white was white. They just made them look white in history. A lot of people were actually melanated, but that's neither here nor there. I just really think that this dude is low key like Shakespeare. I was like, And a friend of mine, there was this reggae artist, for example, and I swear they look exactly the same. And then they had pictures of Jay-Z. So there was a bunch of stuff like that where people literally look like they're people from the past, and it's interesting. So you think like, what if I'm learning from a past version of my own self, like the things that we're drawn to and we don't understand why, and stuff that we always did, you know what I mean? That stuff is more eternal. Healing is eternal to an extent, because I think that there will be a point where people are whole again.